Hello, this is my February 2026 update video on the ongoing attempt to see how this goes on YouTube. It seemed to be well received last time for January, so I'm going to try it again for February this month. I should mention that there are no pickups in this particular video because that just didn't happen in the month of February, and Katana is ready to help out here. But yeah, let's get right into it. So, starting off the month of February for games that I played on stream, it was kind of mentioned as a spoiler in the January update video, but we finished Final Fantasy Tactics on the PlayStation 1. I think that was literally like the first day of February where I got through the finale on it. And yeah, what a really enjoyable game. I really liked the game. I'm not sure I've played a whole lot of strategy RPGs, but yeah, this one was really good. I feel like there was still like a lot of depth to the game that I just didn't quite figure out, but it wasn't necessary. I dabbled with the main character that I called Moo. Uh, Tried some bard stuff at the end that I actually really liked, and yeah, I don't think I still understand like the full story that happened in the game, but that's okay. But yeah, it was like enough where I could see myself, maybe doing this again in the future, or even trying like the remake that came out on the Switch fairly recently too. I could see like trying out that version and seeing some of the quality of life updates that have happened since the PlayStation 1. But yeah, that was really good to wrap up that game, but that also opened up a lot of opportunity for other stuff in February. But before we got to that, every year I do a speed run of winning the Super Bowl, or at least trying to, in Tecmo Super Bowl on the NES. I posted a PB on this one, which was really nice. I don't think I moved up the leaderboard at all, but yeah, I always enjoy doing this once a year and then using one of the updated ROM hacks to simulate the big game. Uh, and it's fun to kind of just see how that works out. And yeah, it's something I look forward to every year. I'll be running this game again in September, maybe late August for the week 1 challenge. That's kind of the two runs I like doing in this particular game. And yeah, if you saw earlier, like within the past month, I uploaded the result of that one for the PB because that's the best way to get it hosted and verified and out there in the world. So if you want to check that out, go for it. Um, and then, so the wheel landed on Super Nintendo, and there's a lot of choices you can make on Super Nintendo, but I chose Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City. uh, what a interesting game. If you think this is a basketball game, you are not correct. This is more of an action platformer where the story has sort of kind of this comic book art style in the intro where a mad scientist kidnaps all of the basketball players that were about to play at a charity game or something like that, and it's up to Michael Jordan to go rescue all of his teammates and defeat the mad scientist so they can, continue with their basketball game. But yeah, it's Michael Jordan's like dribbling a basketball like all the time as he's navigating through the levels. It's just I don't know, it tickled me in the right way for like the type of aesthetic. Like I'm not going to claim this is like an amazingly good game or anything like that, but it's yeah, I think it kind of gets a little derided on a bit as well, and I think it's not as bad as it people make it out to be. But for what it is, I thought it was goofy in the right type of way, but I actually enjoyed playing this for the most part. It did maybe drag on a little bit towards the end, but easily the best part of it is to get power ups. There's like basketball goals like set up throughout the level, and you just dunk on them, and I feel like more games need that mechanic where you dunk basketballs to get power ups. Like, just think of all the possibilities that could happened there. But yeah, that is Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City. And then next up after that, played Darkwing Duck on the TurboGrafx 16. It was a one stream redeem. It was. I made the comment at the time that it feels like it was maybe a bit of a tragedy that I'm playing the TurboGrafx 16 version of Darkwing Duck before I played the NES Darkwing Duck, which, for based on what I've seen, like it's pretty well regarded. But that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, that was pretty fun game to play as well. I think I tried it on normal mode for like just a little bit, and it was just brutally difficult. So, but I had a much more enjoyable time just playing it on easy. It wasn't too bad of a game to get through, but I think it was maybe a couple hours for just a casual play on easy mode to get through that one, and then there's like enough time in the stream that I attempted to do some really rough speed running of it. So I never like cut a video for it since it would have been like last place on the leaderboard. It was like I'm not sure how much I actually care about that, but it's something I could possibly return to in the future. I could see that happening. Uh, but yeah, it's I think that again, similar to Chaos in the Windy City, it's not as bad as I think the reputation has for it, but it's also not going to be an amazing platforming experience. At least that was kind of my opinion of it when it's all said and done playing Darkwing Duck on the TurboGrafx 16. And we also, this was probably a big thing for February. So after we spun the wheel, it finally came up over a speed run, and I decided I was going to learn a speed run of a game that I have played a lot in the past, which is Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular. I've played this a fair bit in the past, like 2-player with a friend of mine. Um, yeah, and I think we always had a good time with it. And this was a pretty good candidate for the type of thing I like to speed run, which is usually A, it needs to be a game that I've played a lot, and B, speedrunning kind of gives it a new twist on playing it, and and I feel like I explored like the original about as well as you can. Um, but yeah, that turned out really well. I had a lot of fun with that. It was maybe like 6 streams or so I think I did of that, but yeah, I ended up breaking the world record as of February for all 3 categories: the bronze, the silver, and the gold categories. I mean, basically, like to earn a bronze in the game, you have to get 10,000 points. So you're not trying to do extremely well at like every single event. You're just trying to do good enough to get 10,000 points and less than 12,000 points for the silver, and then 15,000 for the gold in the game. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I could see myself returning to this in the future as well. But as of this recording, I've had enough for now, and I think there's still room left on the table to take some time down in all 3 categories. But yeah, that's just kind of where we're at with that. Then lastly, for games played on stream, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Toe Jam and Earl. Usually the plan is every Saturday, if I'm available, which I was not too available this February, but um, to do the weekly speedrun random world race for Toe Jam and Earl. There was sort of like, I guess they were both technically official, but one of them was just sort of the regular race. That was like, I think the first Saturday in February. That was the only one I got to join for that one, but that went I remember that run going decently well for me. I ended up in first place of 2 on that one. And then the kind of the bigger, more interesting mention for it would be there is a shout out to Sega Crew. It was a channel on Twitch called Sega Crew. It's a group of Sega enthusiasts doing Sega things, but they hosted their Sega Olympics. And as part of that, it's mostly like supposed to be like sports related games, but like anything that's a race as well. Like we want that too. So we did a Toe Jam and Earl Random World Race on Sega Cruise channel, and that was nice with Hoodie Two Shoes, Lynn Carius, and ACM LM. Uh, Hoodie, Lynn, and myself were on uh, actual like microphone audio on Sega Cruise channel during that event, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's always like a pretty chill time for doing that, for at least in my experience. I finished last place in it, but it wasn't. I don't really care on that stuff. It's all just kind of fun for me. But it's always fun to kind of showcase Toe Jam and Earl, and I have a playlist for like where I've made other appearances, and I will get that updated once that video is released from Sega Crew. So yeah, feel free to check that out, and yeah, I expect more to continue in the month of March for Toe Jam and Earl. For offline games, there's a few things to talk about here. We'll start with the Atari Age High Score Club, which again, if you don't know, that is on the Atari Age forums. It is Atari enthusiasts, in this case the Atari 2600, just playing games just for fun. This kind of like a friendly competition, high score comparison type of things with like a seasonal standings and that type of thing. But games did for that for the month of February. There was a well timed as well for like a Winter Olympics type of theme week. First off would be ice hockey, the Activision game, which I did as part of the Activision Patch Challenge way back in 2-3 years ago, something like that. And there's a video for that if you want to check that out. As I did my quest to try to earn the scores to get all the physical patches for Activision back in those days. But ice hockey in particular, I didn't do like amazingly well. The score was mostly based on like differential between like how many goals you had versus the computer, and I only had a +5 on that one, so not amazing. But still had fun with doing that. I kind of crammed it in at last minute before the deadline, which I think will be happening again for the next week's challenge. But I digress about that for now. And then skiing, another Activision game, which that one I remember from the Activision Patch Challenge. Like that one was really pretty difficult to get under the time that was required to earn the patch. This one was game 1, so it was a little bit different. Well, yeah, it was game 3 for ice hockey. I did not mention that. Yeah, game 1 for skiing, so a little bit different. I did pretty well on it. I had a time of 33.12, and I think a perfect time you can get in that is 32.72, which a few people got, which is pretty darn awesome. And then lastly, is the actual game is called Winter Games, the 2600 version, but specifically the ski jump was what we were after there. That one's really weird to control how to play that one, because you have to like, as you're jumping down, your skier needs to be like in this ideal position for like diagonal to get maximum distance, and it's critical. You have to be like in a certain position to land properly. But there's like two things you're adjusting like all the time, and one's like down on the joystick, or like down and up versus left and right, and you have to kind of balance both of those at the same time. That one I was struggling for, like I can't figure this out, and then somebody posted a video of how they did it. I watched that and then like literally did like one attempt after that, and I landed it and was like, you know what? That's probably about as best as I'm going to do on this one without spending a lot of time with it. So I was fine and okay with the 174.7 that I got for that one. And as of February 25th, let's see, I did 13th that week. And then the overall season standings, I'm currently sitting at 10th. So we'll see how that goes as the season progresses along. And the only other offline game I didn't even like get a chance to do Pacross like I did mention in the January update. I just haven't had time with. I've been busy like most Saturdays and weekends, and adding the Tuesday to the stream schedule as well as taking away maybe some time from offline things. But yeah, it's worth mentioning. Wrapped up the main story in Diablo 4. Um, yeah, had a good time with that. Wrapped that up, and I think at the time, my buddy Eight Punches and we talked about it a little bit. Like, so we've played Diablo games before, and it usually devolves into like, okay, you're just repeating the same stuff over and over to get like incrementally better gear to be slightly better at doing the same thing over and over. But I was ready to move on at the time, but like, let's try, after reading about some of the end game stuff, like, all right, let's try one more week of this and we'll see how that goes. And yeah, there's like a lot of end game stuff in uh, Diablo 4. And I think we still haven't like touched everything that it offers, but yeah, it rehooked us pretty much for throughout the rest of the month, and I see that continuing forward in the month of March. But yeah, it was good to get like the actual like story part wrapped up in that game, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I again will continue to do that through March, and we'll see if anything else happens after that. And that wraps up our February 2026 update. Again, there was no pickups that happened in the month of February for me, so nothing to report there. Um, yeah, I know there will be some Donkey Kong Country 2, like a casual play that'll be happening and is happening as of the recording of this video that we'll be talking about for the March updates. And uh, I know a system variety stream will be happening as the wheel has determined. Probably leaning towards Commodore 64 right now. Yeah, we'll just kind of see how that goes. And yeah, now that I'm saying that out loud, out loud, um, yeah, I wonder how that's going to play into the update video. If I'm going to have to mention like every single game I tried, even if it was only for like 3 to 4 minutes or something like that. But that's a future DMC problem. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for watching. And I hope you have a great rest of the day, night, whatever time it might be for you. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Later.